Hello everyone, I am Tessellating Hexagons, and can you feel it? Eurovision is getting ever closer by the minute. But, of course, we're still in April at the moment, which means there's a few more matters to attend to before we can get to the contest proper, chief among which being, well, this video. This is part 4 of my 4-part countdown to get through my top 41 for this year's contest, and in this video, we've heard the rest, now let's hear from the best, my personal top 10 songs of Eurovision 2019. So, couple of things. First of all, expect only my top 10 in this video. If you somehow missed that this is part 4 of a 4-part series, then that's kind of on you at this point. And also, as I've been saying, don't expect to hear, like, clips of the songs in this video, because obviously I don't want to do... Like, this isn't one of those, I'm gonna play the performance and have comments on screen. No, it's all just me and my opinions. And on that note, please respect my opinions and other people's. As ever, the comments section is very much open for you to share your thoughts with me below. And, even more importantly, feel free to share your personal top 41 with me as well, and be sure that I've received your complete list by the 6th of May so that I can make the mega top 41 for this year. It has to be in the comments under one of these videos, like one of my top 41 countdown videos, because I'm not going to be checking Twitter, I'm not going to be checking Discord, only in the comments under these videos. That's where I'll be taking submissions from, and well, I would say let's start the video. Obligatory mention of, I got scorecards for semi-finals that I made myself. You can find them in the description below. They're designed to be double-sided and everything. That I'm good at graphic design, okay? Graphic design is my passion. It's not. Let's start the video, though. Kicking things off for the final time this year, in 10th place and receiving 1 point from me, we have Israel, the host nation, Kobe Marimi, and the song Home. And this is such a musical, theatre-y song, and I mean that in a good way. But also, I just know that my younger self would absolutely have no time for this song whatsoever, but in the present day, I find it to be really touching and moving and beautiful. And, in fact, like, the song as a whole is one thing, but also the lyrical body in general, the story it tells, but exactly how he tells it, it's just, all of it is just really nice and coherent and cogent, cohesive. It fits together really well, it creates a mood, it runs with it, it's really beautifully done, it doesn't seem contrived, and by all accounts, Kobe is a brilliant singer as well. He can put it across nicely, and I really don't have anything to say critically here. And I've heard people referring to this as a "we don't want to win again" entry, and while I don't think it is at risk of winning, bearing in mind how hyped up some of the other entries are this year, I do think it at least deserves a good result in the final, because it's pretty, and he's a good performer, and it's not bad. Give this song a chance. And my favourite lyric in this one is, "Another touch won't be another bruise." I don't have much to add to that. That's just poetry right there. And honestly, as it is, I have really bad social anxiety out here in the real world, and so as a result, most social interactions with me, even positive ones, can cause me pain in some way or another. And so that level of acknowledgement and then determination to overcome, that kind of really speaks to me. I can't relate because I don't have that level of willpower, but I at least appreciate that it's there. Like, it's poetic and I understand what he's meaning, and that's basically why it's my favourite line in the song. In 9th place now, and receiving 2 points from me this year, we have the Czech Republic, or Czechia if you prefer, Lake Malawi, and Friend of a Friend of a Friend of a Friend of a Friend. This song is so overhated, it's unreal, but then again, from what I've seen, people have calmed down since it was first chosen. Because when it was first chosen, people absolutely dragged this song, and it was really unfair, because without that context, my mother and I really just clicked with this when it was first chosen. We really liked it, and I've kind of stood by that support throughout the Eurovision season, and I'm still here now. The song is atmospheric, it's decently narrative forward, and the instrumentation, certainly in the second main set of verses, is really reminiscent of the Sega 32X, which is a console that I low-key grew up with. I have fond memories of Knuckles Chaotix. I even did a versus of it for the exactly no people who are interested in gaming content that are watching this video, but yeah, I don't really see any issues with this song. Maybe people find the friend of a friend of a friend bit repetitive, but that's a thing you can legitimately say in English. That is an actual, not idiom because it makes literal sense, but people can say she's just a friend of a friend of a friend in English, and that's an accepted thing. Now, for all that defense though, my favourite line is actually, "There's not much between us now," and some people really take issue with his accent in the spoken word bit, or well, bit singular now that they've made him sing the second one. Like, I can't tell if that's him putting on an accent or if that just is how he naturally speaks, and either way, it doesn't bother me, and I am actually British, so live with it. But yeah, I like that line more than anything else, because it sort of embodies the central idea of the song's story, that, like, he's insisting this other girl, that, you know, there's nothing between them, you know, that they used to be friends and now they're not, she's a friend of a friend, and as the listener, we're sort of inclined to sympathise with whoever he's singing to, or to become the person he's singing to, and so it's left to us to think, is he telling the truth, or doth the boy protest too much? And that line kind of shows it's in our, the ball's in our court to decide. He's saying there's not much between us. Is that the truth? It's up to us. I feel like I just said the same thing 3 times, but you get the idea. Moving on to 8th place in the meantime, and with 3 points from me, speaking of overhated songs with rich musical atmospheres, Romania, Estepeni, on a Sunday. I like this song, I really do. It's one of my most listened to instrumentals on the karaoke album so far. And as you might recall from when I first reviewed it, I liked this song straight away when I first heard it, and I didn't go into it with any expectations, and I knew that people had 2 other favourites from the selection, and I've since gone and listened to those other 2 favourites from the national final, and this is still my favourite song of the 3 of them. I really like, I didn't go into the song expecting to like it, but here I am, enjoying it. Good atmosphere, good voice, albeit questionable accent, and I do understand why my mother, for instance, isn't so fond of this one, because she can't understand the words because of how Esther sings it, but like, in the music video, she's made to look kind of like Ariana Grande, and she actually low-key does have the voice to back that up. Again, I have no issues here. Favourite line? Watching the smoke rise from the ashtray, filling the room with pain. It's another one of those lyrics that, again, really, like, capitalizes on the song being an atmospheric storytelling medium. Like, this line in particular really sets the scene, as well as featuring some literary technique that I probably studied in, like, college, where, I don't remember what it's called, but, like, it starts off with a concrete concept, in this case, rising smoke, and then transfers that kind of action into an abstract concept. In this case, it's pain that's filling the room, even though it's not really there. Pain is an incorporeal concept. And, I know, just the literature, language studies guy in me really likes that, and also, I just like the song. It's got that sort of moochable atmosphere. It's good, and I really don't think it deserves the hate, and yeah, I like it more than the 2 favourites of the national final, and people are going to hate me for that, but whatever. Romania, 3 points. Fight me, internet. Please don't fight me. Meanwhile, slightly less controversially, 7th place, 4 points from me, Albania, Jonida Malici and Ktheu Tokas. My main thing with this song is that, to me, in concept, it's actually much more like Mal than Albania's entries from 2016 and 17. Like, yeah, those 2 and this are both female-led ballads with strong vocals, but I contest that this is more like Mal insofar as it's a tried and true, honest-to-goodness, actual Albanian song, rather than a Festivali Këngës winner that's been remediated for Eurovision with a less than flattering revamp with, you know, low-grade instrumentation. With 2016 and 2017, those songs were 2 Festivali Këngës for Eurovision, but 2 Eurovision for Festivali Këngës, and so it ended up not really having an audience. But Jonida, much like Eugent, absolutely does have an audience for this song, and yeah, it doesn't sound like it's been put through a ringer to try and, I don't know what this is, it doesn't sound like it's been mangled to better fit the Eurovision stage. It sounds complete, and it's, like, the instrumental, for instance, really rich, really enjoyable. Listen to the instrumental with headphones. It's gorgeous. Also, deep brass, hell yeah, basically, this is a good song. And my favourite line is in Albanian, oh boy, Ti e din një zemër të pret? You know there is a heart waiting for you. Maybe it's just an over-romanticized view of the concept of home, being as it is, you know, this song's title is Return to the Land, so she has a vested interest in making the homeland sound as attractive as possible, but I just appreciate the picture that she's painting here. It got me all anticipating. Go, Nothing Can Steal Your Thunder, that was several years ago. She's got this idea of return to your homeland because we're happy to welcome you home, you're one of us. It tastes of togetherness and mutual trust and support, and that's nice, and it's all wrapped up in a song that's an absolute pleasure to listen to. It's got the same sort of adventurous kind of oomph as Greece last year, and I loved the Greek song last year, so good on you, Albania, and props to you for not changing this song all that much between Festivali Këngës and now, and yet still make it into my top 10. This is impressive and holds a lot of promise for Albania's near future at Eurovision. Moving on now to 6th place and getting 5 points from me, that's always where the confusing numbers happen, we have Malta, Michaela Patch, and Chameleon, and just damn, Malta is playing with fire this year. Like, they changed their selection format so they picked a singer through the X Factor and then wrote a song internally and just... You should have been doing this sooner, Malta, because goddamn, this is good! Like, of all the reggaeton rhythm songs this year, this one has far and away the most identity, because Cyprus is just trying to be Fuego again, Belarus is just being reggaeton to capitalize on it being a popular, like, thing at the moment, and Switzerland does a good job with giving it its own identity, but it's kind of like a male Fuego, whereas this, it uses that rhythm, but builds a completely unique identity on top of it. And as well, I like the hook in this one. Like, it goes up by, like, a semitone when you expect it to go up by a tone, or, like, I don't know, it enters this musical mezzanine when, like, you think it's gonna shoot up in tone, it just goes a little bit up instead. I like that, and I like the fact that, like, it's got the sort of muted trumpet, like, kind of brass section at the beginning of the song, and they incorporate that into the hook as it builds over time. It's just fun to listen to, and also we've got a strong and sassy singer, and yeah, I'm absolutely here for it. My favourite line is, "And when they try to hold me down, inside a box, I'll find my way out." For one, I think my main thing here is I like how they conveyed that in the music video with, like, the lyrics appearing in the box, but then find a way out. It sort of shoots out of the box to the side. I like that, it's satisfying to watch. It conveys it really nicely. And also, this is a song that speaks of determination and self-empowerment, like I just praised Israel for. So, across the board, we have a competent, like, modern-sounding, real-world-sounding song, and we have a singer that can back it up. Again, Malta, good show, keep this up. This, again, holds a lot of promise for the coming years. That being said, for all this love of positivity, this had to happen eventually. 5th place, 6 points from me. Iceland, Hatari, Hatrithman Sigra. Okay, yes, I learned my lesson. It's not pronounced Hatari, it's just that comes more naturally to my tongue as an English speaker, but partly because of, you know, Atari, the company, but yes. People have clarified to me that Hatari is Icelandic for hater, or haters, singular plural, I don't remember, but, like, it does also happen to be Swahili for dangerous, and, like, I had a feeling that was a coincidence, and I didn't want to, like, say definitively, yes, it means hater. I thought it did, but now I've been confirmed. I didn't want to say it if it wasn't true, but it is true, so there you go. I think some people might expect this to be higher up in my personal list, but no, it's ended at 5th place, and this is a really strong year, so it can be proud of that. Obviously, this song is one hell of a big mood, because nihilism and sadness and anger and hatred and rage and despair and blah, but it's just, it's enjoyable to listen to. There's almost a sense of catharsis to the screaminess. Like, my mother and I affectionately refer to the band as Wailing Steve, Screamy Boy or Shouty Boy, and Wacky Thumpo, who stands in the back just sort of hitting things with a stick. And just good instrumental, good vocals on top of the instrumental. There's a lot of good here, despite it being so, you know, it's designed to split opinions, and I'm on the happy side of the split because I like how it sounds both with and without the vocals. Some people don't like the vocals, that's fair enough. It can be a bit off-putting, I completely get it, but it's all good. And if you don't like the song, I do recommend at least giving the instrumental a chance, because there are a couple of people that I've played the instrumental to, and they've actually really liked it, even though they don't like the full version of the song, so just give it a thought. Anyway, my favourite line in this one, Allhlíðar blekkingar, einhlíðar refsingar, meaning multilateral delusions, unilateral punishments, mood! Also, it's, again, with the poetry. Like, it's amazing just how much they can convey when all they're saying is literally 4 words in that line. It's a good summary as well of how I view a lot of the world. There are a lot of deluded people out there making big decisions that cause everyone to be punished no matter what, and just, it sums up quite nicely the bigger picture of this song in general. And I think the bigger picture of this song in general, to reiterate those exact words, is kind of underrated, because a lot of people hear, oh, right, yeah, Hadfridman Sigra, hatred will win, oh, it's all miserable and doom and gloom, but, like, the subtext is, hatred will inevitably win, so love now while you still can, before it gets this bad. And that's unexpectedly wholesome. So while I do like the doom and gloom of the lyrics, I like that there's a flip side to them as well, but you do have to look for them a bit, and some people will miss that, and I acknowledge that. Also, completely fun, unrelated story. At some point, my mother missaid the title of this song as Hagrid Munsigra, so now I'm just picturing that guy from Harry Potter just in bondage gear. Oh dear. Okay, I'm just gonna move on before this rabbit hole gets any deeper. Okay, slight controversy here coming up in 4th place. San Marino, Serhat, Say Na Na Na. Honestly, going in cold turkey, I'm very impressed that Serhat was able to get so deep into my heart, bearing in mind just how much of a wrong foot we got off on in 2016, but I truly, genuinely, unironically enjoy this song. It's actually a bop, and I was not expecting that. But that said, when they first announced Serhat for San Marino, I said, and I do stand by this, that they were going to do unexpectedly well. You know, they're one to keep an eye on, and they've actually brought the heat that can back that up. This song was written in 5 minutes, but then again, so was Tonight Again for Australia in 2015, and look how well that did. I'm not saying this is guaranteed to do well, I'm just saying this song is quality. And yeah, a lot of songs, as I've said in previous videos, don't make me feel anything, but this one actually does bring an honest smile to my face when I listen to it. It's so wholesome, and it's kind of like all of Europe just collectively friend-zoned Serhat after 2016, and, you know, because of how kind of creepy I Didn't Know was, and he's turned around and gone, friend zone? Okay, we're friends now, here is my friend song instead of my love song, and I'm okay with that, weirdly. So, yeah, my favourite line is, be a hero, be the rainbow, and say nah, nah, nah. Well, the nah, nah, nah bit can go to one side, but be a hero, be the rainbow. It's got this satisfying cadence within the refrain anyway, and it's this good summary of the message of the song. You know, it's be positive, always look on the bright side of life. Again, you know, it summarises that in a way that's satisfying to listen to, and gets the point across in 6 words. This is a good lyric. I can't add anything on top of that. This is a good song, and once again, I recommend giving it another chance if you've written it off at this point. Go San Marino! I'm so ready to eat a shoe on your behalf. But now, calming down again, we're in the power territory at this point. 3rd place, my 8 points this year, goes to Norway, Kaino, Spirit in the Sky. Why did nobody tell me that Gareth Gates wasn't the original of that song? That was just a cover. Yeah, now I fool so foolish, but yes, I'm actually surprised that this song ended up as high as it did in my personal top. Like, don't get me wrong, when I first heard it, I knew that I really, really liked it, and I thought it would end at least in my top half, maybe even in my top 10, but I was not expecting it to be in my top 3, and yet here we are. It's surprisingly held its own against a lot of the other countries in this year's competition, bearing in mind there is a touch of the Schlager to this one's composition, but that's not necessarily a bad thing, they make it work. And, like, overall, it's got a good balance of vocals from the 2 lead singers and also the Sami guy, and, just overall, like I said in the initial review, it's got a good incorporation of Sami culture without trivializing it or making it seem like a gimmick. It feels like an honest blending of stuff, and like, yeah, some of the lyrics aren't super great, all things considered, and the music video was kind of a disappointment, to be honest. It felt a bit messy, but that doesn't detract from the song as a whole. I think this is going to be good. I will enjoy watching this performance, and if it doesn't qualify, that will be a literal crime against humanity. So, favourite line in this one? They call us nothing. My name is nothing. And bear with me here, it kind of evokes a very powerful image of being held down by the negativity of others, and thus being made vulnerable by that oppressive negativity, and then having those others exploit that vulnerability in order to define your identity in their terms, which then becomes their reality, which they then force back on you, and you end up being forced into this position of submission because they just do not let up. And as someone who was bullied relentlessly throughout high school, I absolutely feel this, and yeah, that's almost definitely not what they're going for with this line, but it still encapsulates the idea rather nicely. Diegetically, it helps build the jeopardy in the story of the lyrics. You know, we have a singer who's projecting their spirit in the sky because they're currently running away from the demons. They want to go and dance in the light with the fairies, you know, Chayat Tanchovka. It's good stuff, and that line, again, is a good embodiment of there is something at stake here, come and, you know, I need a hero, do the hero things. I know what I mean, and I'm hoping that that was conveyed fairly adequately here. Good song, 8 points. But here we are now, the top 2 of my top 41 for Eurovision 2019. In 2nd place, and receiving my 10 points this year, having beaten off most of the competition, but not quite all of it, 10 points I award to Spain. Mickey and Lavender. My family and I really got into this song the moment we first heard it in the national final. We thought, oh, we would really love this to win the selection, but I bet it won't. And then it did, and we actually got up and like jumped for joy. This song got us bopping. It's fun, it's energetic, it's happy, it's good times, good energies, and also on top of all of the happiness and positivity, it's got a wholesome message to boot as well. It's not just a mindless party song. It actually it's this song of self-affirmation, find inner strength, you know, the blindfold is gone, now go and live your best life. It's so good. And admittedly, okay, people were talking about, oh, the revamp has completely ruined it, it's a totally different song. Like, calm down. They changed next to nothing in the revamp. It really does not merit that level of reaction. I do miss the marimba. That was a nice touch, and it's kind of a shame that's gone, but other than that, I think, you know, the revamp has tidied it up quite nicely, and this will, I think, turn some heads in Tel Aviv, and deservedly so. This is a very good song. It's possibly one of the finest that Spain's put out in quite a while, and they could be proud of. Like, no disrespect to Spain's other recent entries by any means, because they have put out some quality stuff in recent years, and yes, I'm including Manel Navarro in that, because that wasn't a bad song, and you can find me. Let's not detract from the point here. Mickey, brilliant song. Well done, Spain, for having the nerve to send him, and I hope he does them proud, because this deserves a good result. This deserves a top 10 result, in my opinion. My favourite line is that recurring thing of La Venda Yakayo, which means the blindfold already fell. It's the song's central theme, it's a recurring motif, it comes back a whole bunch, and it gives the song its own identity by, once again, as I said, it's this party song, it's this party anthem almost, but it has this meaningful message. And it's a good and engaging analogy, basically. Like, if you're feeling like you're restricted by the blindfold, so to speak, you know, you have the power to rip that blindfold off at any time and get out there and change things for the better. And if you don't, then it's a matter of when you build up the strength rather than if. It's like Lucy Jones said in 2017, you're not defeated, you're in repair. This is like the happy flip side to that song. So, yeah. This line summarizes what is, by and large, a very strong, very happy, very empowering song, and there's not much I can say apart from Spain can be proud of sending it. Now, though, I mean, by process of elimination, unless you missed the previous videos, you can absolutely work out that my number one of Eurovision 2019, my 12 points, my 12 points, I award to Azerbaijan, Chingiz Mustafayev, and Truth. Where do I begin here? I love the beat, I love the atmosphere, I love the soundscape, and you can kind of tell that one of the guys from Equinox was involved in the production here, and Bones was really high in my top last year, so it kind of follows this will be high up anyway, but yeah, as I said in the initial review of this song, this was love at first listen for me. I am 100% Team Azerbaijan this year, which I'm kind of surprised to hear, but then again, you know, last year was a blip rather than the new norm, and I'm glad that we have something comparable to Skeletons to get Azerbaijan back on track, because they're capable of producing really good stuff, and this is testament to that. And also, this is pretty likely, in my opinion, to finally break my unlucky streak of my personal number one winners failing to qualify, because last year my number one was Switzerland, didn't qualify. The year before that was Macedonia, and that didn't qualify. Then the year before that was Croatia, and that did, and then Serbia in 2015, and that did. So, okay, it's kind of 50-50 with me, but this hopefully will get as good a result as it deserves. I think, bearing in mind how hyped up other countries are, this probably won't win, but I would so love it if it did. And I just hope it gets the result it deserves in the night, hopefully the top half. Bearing in mind, Bones was underrated, Skeletons was underrated, I'm hoping that this can sort of break that pattern and get Azerbaijan into the top half. This, again, I think this deserves a top 10 finish at least. And as you might be able to guess, as is probably the case with anyone who likes the song as much as I do, favourite lyric, shut up about it. It's so cathartic, with or without the context of the toxic end of the fandom to be screaming it at. Like, finally, we have an anthem for telling people to shut the front door. And again, much like with Spain, it's the central, recurring, identifying thing of the song, and it's satisfying to hear, satisfying to say, it's memorable, it's, you know, this is the shut up song, and it catches your attention, it tells you, shut up, I'm the one talking now, stop going on about this thing, it's all in the past, let's move on with the present, I'm defining my new present. And also, there are quite a few songs this year that seem to come in pairs, like, the Czech Republic and Ireland seem to be like two sides of the same song, like Sarah McTurnan is the she that is only a friend. Well, this kind of, like, I've heard some people theorize as well, obviously it will be a coincidence, but this kind of feels like the other side to Armenia's song. Like, if we take Chingiz's side at face value, then Serbik is overreacting. If we take Serbik's side at face value, it seems like Chingiz is lying, which is ironic because the song's called Truth, but like, it seems like two sides of the same coin, but obviously it's not intentionally, but that gives it another level of depth and just, this is my favourite song this year and I will be voting for it on the night. So, to recap this chunk of the list, we have Israel, the Czech Republic, Romania, Albania, Malta, Iceland, San Marino, Norway, Spain, and Azerbaijan as my personal winner for this year. But really, they're all my personal winners for this year because they made it to my top 10. So, cool beans. I feel like I say this every year, but we have a really strong lineup, and if any of these songs do well, I will be happy. Well, there are a lot of good songs this year in general, so just because they didn't make it into my top 10 doesn't mean to say I don't like them, because there's so much good this year! There's so much good this year! But my opinion isn't the only one on the planet, and neither is yours, so once again, I invite you, share your personal top 10 or top 41 in full in the comments below. If I have your full top 41 list by the 6th of May, I will include it in the Mega Top 41 Countdown. We've had so many people submit so far, and it's really interesting so far, so I do look forward to seeing who wins that. It really is anyone's game at the moment. But for now, I have been and will continue to be Tessellating Hexagons, and join me again next week for, well, for something else. I'll see you then for that, and to Azerbaijan especially, I wish you the very best of luck in Tel Aviv. See you in May.